Hey everybody, Minister Kenesha Lynette Hoff here, founder of S.Q. Ministries. S.Q. Ministries is the ministry sector of S.Q.S. S.Q.S is a marketplace ministry that provides direct services to individuals and organizations. Some of those services provided are mentoring ministries and recovery. The ministry sector, which is this podcast, is all about identity, purpose, and worth. So it's a voice for the underdog and a vision for the lost. So for more information about S.Q.S, make sure to check out the website. S as in Sam, Q as in quarter, S as in Sam, community.com. Make sure to subscribe and share, spread the word about S.Q.S and S.Q Ministries. And with that being said, I'm just going to dive right into it. I'm going to talk about unbelief. And I just want to throw this out here first that even us believers of Christ, followers of Christ, we still have some type of form of unbelief. I'd be lying, and you'd be lying to yourself for those of you who are believers and followers of Christ as well. If you said that wasn't the case, you always have some type of unbelief. There's always something that hits you to a certain level that causes some type of form of unbelief. And instead of being in denial, you just pray about it, give it to God and ask for healing in those areas, because that's way better than being in denial and being held accountable for that, in the end. So unbelief, it's just, I feel like there's different levels of it. And what I'm seeing as someone who, I do a lot of things, I do a lot of things outside the business as well, and things I feel like to help equip me and keep me knowledgeable in what I'm doing, like school, training and development, things like that. And it never fails in situations where I feel like I have to really defend, and you don't have to ever defend God, but you feel like you have to say something when it comes to your faith, and it keeps coming up. And so the Lord, he warned us on this. This is how it's going to be. There's going to be so many people that they reject him. They don't even believe in him. They think they're God. Like, he warned us about that in his word. And I see it play out. And it's sad. There's a lot of people, I'm not even exaggerating, a lot of people, we're not even talking about it. They'll bring it up. And then when we do talk about it, I have a sociology class that I'm taking right now. And when it is brought up, it's like, oh yeah, hell doesn't exist. And even some were saying, well, yeah, heaven exists, but hell, I don't know. I don't understand that concept. This is without judgment. I don't understand it. You can't have one without the other, just like yin and yang. Like, you can't have one without the other. That now you're just making stuff up. So I felt like this is very important, not to go on this rampage, this rambling situation. It boils my blood on another level, but God does not need to be defended. He's God. He doesn't need to be defended. I just felt like I needed to say it because it's coming up a lot. Okay. One of my spiritual gifts is the gift of vision. And my first vision, was Christ on the cross. That was like the actual, what happened of, yeah, another episode on that. That was my first vision. And then after that, it was all these souls, lost souls that were confused, that were shocked, that were surprised that they were going to hell. And I bring up hell because that came up in my sociology class, and so many people don't believe in it. And at first I'm like, this is a joke, right? I didn't even respond yet. It was just a paper we had to do, a quick paper. I didn't even respond yet because I was just like, okay, Lord, there's going to be somebody that's going to at least be like, yes, I do. Yes, I believe in God. Yes, I believe in hell. Yes, I believe it. I was really praying that I would see that. And all I kept seeing was no, no, no. It's made up. It's man-made. It's okay. And a lot of it's because they're basing everything on the word, on other people's theological reasons, basically. And, I did get to a point where I had to let them know, like, hey, at the end of the day, Jesus wasn't even religious. What you're basing this on is religion. And that is why you came up with the conclusion you have came up I had to like kindly remind them that it's not about religion. It's about a relationship. It's about a relationship with him, relationship with others, your purpose, like your identity, who you are in this life does and will matter in the next, whether you believe it or not. And as someone who continues to get these visions, because it's not the first time, I didn't just have a one-time vision of lost souls. This is a continued thing that keeps happening. Lots, and I don't mean just a couple, lots of souls surprised. And that's the sad part. They're surprised because I'm pretty sure the underlying theme here is unbelief. That's what keeps coming up for me. Unbelief. If you don't believe, and like I said, we all have some type of form of unbelief. You know, at the end of the day, he knows your heart and you keep bringing it to him and you keep asking him to heal you in these areas of unbelief. He will do that. And at the end of the day, he will know your heart, regardless of moments of unbelief or areas of unbelief. If you keep giving it to him and you keep being that representative of Christ at the end of the day, and not even just that, just having that relationship with him at the end of the day, that is what matters. He wants that relationship. He wants that intimacy at the end of the day, and everything else will fall into place. We don't have to worry about the other things. And so the unbelief, it needs to be talked about.